Ed, today I posted about how when we wear clothes that the hospital gives us, that's basically us wearing a physical carrier and portal to the trauma field, that is the hospital trauma field. And I wanted to tell you, Ed, two incidents in my life that were so drastic that they woke me up to how clothes can carry energy. When I was 14, Ed, when I was 14, the fake family that I was in, the father, he fell ill, Ed, and he was dying. 3 days, Ed, he had a fever that didn't come down. The doctor was called, and the doctor said his organs have failed, and if you move him to the hospital, he could actually die on the way. That was his state. And it so happened, Ed, that somehow or the other, some complete stranger came to the house. Someone we had never met before and never met after that as well. But he came, he prayed for this man, and he told the family, he told me, the fake brother, the grandparents, and a friend of the dying man, he said, the shirt that he's wearing, remove it and burn it or throw it away. And then that man who came and prayed it, he completely disappeared. Nobody could remember when he left the house or how he left it, because in those days the culture was if someone came to the house, you would give them coffee, tea, and ask them their name, where they're from, and all that. But no one could remember anything about that man. Total Men in Black moment kind of thing. Anyhow, Ed, so then the fake mother comes home after work in the evening, and we told her about this, that man said, you have to remove this shirt. So we prop him up and we remove the shirt, Ed. Okay? And like a few hours later, the man whose organs were failing, he's sitting up. And by the next day, Ed, he was back on his feet, like everything back to normal, just like that, miraculously. The next evening, Ed, I was playing badminton, Ed, out with the neighbor guys and with the fake brother when the shuttlecock went into this building under construction right in front of our house. And Ed, the 19 and 18-year-old neighbor guys, they were too scared to go into that building because it was dark and the electricity hadn't been put into that construction yet. So I went, Ed, I have very good eyesight in the dark, Ed. So I went to get the shuttlecock. Me and the fake brother was with me, like behind me, about like 2 feet or 3 feet. We went in, Ed, and the place, Ed, where the room on the first floor into which the shuttlecock had gone. No other way to say it to you that there was a dead body hanging there. It was the wife, Ed, of the watchman of that construction. And she had unalived herself. So, Ed, long story short, her husband comes back in the evening, and then he goes into the room after a significant amount of drama in the neighborhood, and he hangs himself too. And just when we were about to eat dinner, the police came and they asked us if we could we could find the husband of the woman who died, because we were the nearest house to that construction. And so we go and knock on the cabin of that husband of the door. There was a cabin there, and he didn't answer it. So the police kicked the door down, and there we saw dead body number 2 of the evening hanging. And what do we see? The very shirt that man who had come yesterday, that I think must have been an angel, he said, throw or burn that shirt away. And it turned out that the fake mother had thought it was too good looking, and it had been a gift from the business partner of the fake father, and it was an expensive one, and she thought it was too good looking to throw away, and it was new. So she'd given it to the watchman of that construction in front of the house. She donated it to them basically because they were poor people. So at this incident really made me realize that clothes can carry energies that strong. And then another incident happened when I was, I would say 15 and a half, 16 years old. Somebody in church, Ed, someone I trusted a lot, I thought was my friend. She gave me this really pretty purple top, Ed. It was hers, and she said she'd put on weight, it didn't fit her, and I was like her sister, so she thinks so she gave it to me. And Ed, I put it on, and then I wanted, like an hour later, Ed, I wanted to unalive myself. I mean, I threw myself on the floor of the bedroom and told myself I was not gonna sit or stand up, because if I did, I would go and unalive myself. That was how strong the instinct was, and I felt completely cut off from God, from love. There was, all hope was out of my heart. My brain was like taken over, and the last remaining spirit in me was like, lie face down on the floor, on the cold floor, and don't sit up and don't stand up, because if you do, you're going to do something to yourself. And what was happening is I was being thrown up from the floor as if somebody was throwing me up from the floor, and I would like almost sit up on my knees, Ed, and then I would throw myself back down because I was getting onto my knees to go unalive myself. It was that strong. And at some point in that, I start praying, calling God, like, if you can hear me, help, help, help. And Ed, I got a strong instinct, and it was, I did this whole thing in 60 seconds or less, or maybe 30 or 40 seconds. I jumped up. I threw the purple top off me. I pulled on the one I was wearing before that was on the bed. I pulled it on. I took the top that I'd thrown off into my hands, rolled it into a ball, and ran out of the house to the big dustbin on the street. There's a dustbin at like 30-40 feet from the house. The whole street would come and put their garbage in it, and then the garbage van would come and clear it out. That was the system there. I ran all of 30 or 40 seconds, Ed. I threw that thing out of my hands. I threw it out. And then I came back. I came running back to the house. No instinct to unalive myself at all. I was like, what the hell happened? This instinct, Ed, saved me, and I never again took for granted, Ed. I never again took for granted clothes. Clothes can carry energies. And let me tell you, Ed, there are two kinds of clothes. Anything you pay money for and buy of your own will, even if it's second-hand, thrift, whatever, yes, it can carry residual energies, and sometimes you have ancestral connections to the, to the bloodline which made those energies. Sometimes you'll just have to throw them away. But most of the time, because you paid money for the clothes, the transaction was completed. There is no, you are the owner of those clothes. Your energy is what will get stamped on them. But clothes which you receive as gifts, clothes which you wear that belong at that moment that you are wearing them to somebody else, these are not just clothes, and even what they carry is insignificant compared to the fact that they are a physical portal to who owns them. And that is why jewelry, clothes, you must never receive from somebody other than your own twin flame and immediate blood family. Never receive things, and not even to wear, but even to keep in your house. The people, Ed, who are your enemies, if they give you something, you're all right because you have no, you're energetically close to them. They're your enemy, and I don't think anyone would be so stupid as to keep something of their enemies with them. Those who fully and completely obviously love you, who are your soul group, that's a different matter. But it is the gray area people, the people you don't know very well, the people who you've met on the internet, people, it's the gray area people, the ones who some days you have ecstatically wonderful friendships with, and then other days you feel like, who's this person? And even just generally pleasant acquaintances. These are all gray areas. Anything that is not 100% passionate there for you is a gray area. And you must never receive anything from them. You should be rude if you have to, because the price that you could possibly, the risk is so high. And I'm not telling you just based on those two experiences that I'm telling you. I have so much experience over the years. I became sensitive to it as a teenager because of these incidents I told you. And so many times I've told people, this gift that you're wearing, this crystal that you're wearing is choking you, it's killing you. I've seen people with migraines. They have to go and get, injected, Ed, every day. They have to go to the hospital to get injected. That kind of migraine caused by something, jewelry they're wearing made out of gold. And they're like, it's gold, I can't, it's gold. Yeah, gold is the worst in this matter. If it's carrying good energy, it carries it the most stable of all metals. And if it's carrying bad energy, the same thing applies. So I could write my PhD thesis in things that carry energy. You got to be so careful. There have been times that I have bought stuff with money made out of cloth, and I couldn't sleep in the night because of the demonic portal that, I bought a pair of puppets, Ed, cloth puppets made by folk artists. I bought it once, took it home, couldn't sleep the whole night. It was like demons walking in and out of the house, and I paid money for it and got it. So every time I had anything of cloth, wood, first of all, gifts, don't accept stuff that, just don't. And when it is like, anytime you do accept something, or even that you buy something and whatever, be energy sensitive. If your mood suddenly crashes, you can't sleep that night, try putting it just outside your door and see if that makes a difference. Do stuff like that. Be awake to these things, because you can, you'll go crazy trying to solve certain problems. I know people who just went crazy. They're thinking all kinds of things, when the problem was that they received a gift from someone that was on their, office table or whatever. And this gift giving shit is so, I don't know what to say. I remember this guy, those, what do you call it, those carved wooden stuff you keep on tables, in which you can put in pens and pen stand, had something like that. It was like a radiator of the devil on his table. And Ed, he never finished any project that he started on that table, but that thing was there. And it was actually given to him by a relative who he never thought would of that. He didn't know that person would even think much of him. It was like, he was there, it was his birthday, so he gave him a gift, he bought him that sort of thing. There wasn't even any particular passion for the better or worse or nothing. It was there. It was just, he gets rid of it and things just start clearing up, all his backlog of projects. So really, Ed, and this is the last thing I want to say in this video, if your projects are getting stalled never getting off the ground, never finishing. Clear the place where you work in your house and everything. Throw the gifts away, throw the old gifts, old clothes, all that. Just throw old stuff out. Don't be in the poverty consciousness that you won't get stuff back, you know. If you've not used something for like 2 or 3 years, let it go, you know, just let it go. And stuff you bought, fine, but gifts from people you're not madly, truly in love with, just think about it. Do you want to be in energetic connection with somebody or not? Would you like to sit and hold their hand? Would you? If you wouldn't like to sit and hold their hand and have that level of intimacy with them, don't keep anything given by them in your house. Period.